Right, Bertram, taking a look at your final project. And obviously you've written yours in APA and your title page here looks great. So very nice way to start. Title here again in bold. Awesome job. So let's see how you've written this one. All right. For the past 2 decades, the whole life approach to managing workers in the tech industry was prevalent. That was prevalent is coming to an end. Okay, so Ralston. Now remember, just a minor thing, but just for your future reference, you always want to have the period only here. So whenever you have a parenthetical like this at the end of a sentence, you put the period here, not here. So you just move it. And also, you always want to have a page number or a paragraph number, depending on whether you have page numbers or not. But you always want to include a page number in there too. If you look at the exemplar, you'll see that in some cases where they've had included that page number. So that's something that you want to make sure you remember for future reference. Not a big deal. It's not going to hurt you much, but just to let you know. Known for its generous salaries and progressive employee culture, the tech industry has been an attractive career choice for people worldwide. So I'm seeing here an indication of the historical and cultural context. So that's great. Recent trends, however, have shown drastic changes in the landscape of the industry and its workers. As economic pressures are experiencing a shift in their relationship with their employers, the question is, are these changes permanent? People looking to enter the tech industry need to know. In her article, okay, so here you introduce the article. Good introductory information there, setting the scene sort of, right? Clarifying the topic. All right. In her article, Nadia Ralston introduces, she touches on, say, these verbs that you use tell me what you kind of genre it is. And here you use the word contends. So that sounds a little bit more like persuasive. So I'm guessing that your genre would probably, if I were to ask you straight out, you would probably say that her genre was a little bit of informational, a little bit of argument or persuasive, right? So that's good. She contends that employee-centric future. Employee-centric should be hyphenated. Should be a hyphen right there. Okay, so you do a good job with your thesis statement there. Your purpose. Um, I would like to have seen your purpose come out a little bit more. In other words, your purpose would be more like if you said a statement like Rawlson is well. Let me show you an example in the actual. That might make it a little bit more clear if I show you, like in the. Where is it? Oh, it should be here. Uh, in the sample here. Well, that's the MLA sample. But the idea is the same, even if it's the APA. Notice here it says, um, final sentence of the thesis statement reflects the core idea. And notice that it says, many of the critical elements from the rubric, such as audience purpose, are integrated into the introductory paragraph. So that's what is expected. And here, for example, this is the purpose, right? She evaluates a range of productivity tips and shares the best and most popular productive tips as well as popular tips that are not as useful. Okay, so this helps to clarify the purpose that she's evaluating something, right? And that she's sharing tips. So let me see if I can see anything like that in here. Contingency plans. Yeah, I think your purpose is probably there. It may not be straight outright spoken, but I think it's intimated there. So that we'll give that credit. All right. Now, it looks like you did a great job. It looks like you followed the exemplar, which is awesome. So few people do this, and I don't understand why, but it looks like you did because you aligned your thesis statement elements, it looks like, with your body paragraphs. You start here by saying, because this one says contends that, excuse me, employee-centric culture facing potentially permanent change. And here you seem to start with that same topic idea. So that tells me that you are following the exemplar and that you're doing a good job of allowing the thesis statement to drive the body paragraphs. So that's awesome. Here you have a statement from her. Now, this is a big issue. Yeah, a little bit bigger issue. You always have to end your source citations anywhere where you refer to something from a source, as you do here. She identifies the negative forces. Then you need to put that, even though you're putting that into your own words instead of quoting her, you should have a parenthetical here that states what the page number is. That's all it would need to be in there because you've already said her name and the year here. So the only thing you're missing here is a parenthetical set of parentheses like this, but with the page number or paragraph number in it. Okay, so that's a little bit of an issue there. Not a terrible big deal because you do have, it is clear. But what the problem is, without that parenthetical at the end, it's unclear where that citation ends, right? That's the reason why you have to always have that at the end as well. Okay. So you definitely you've got the audience and all that core idea. All these things are great. Your details are thorough and thoughtful, and you are citing uh, her using her article to back up your points. So that's the evidence. Um, very good job with all of that. Now let's see. Kind of long on that one, but not terrible, not bad. I'd rather see it be a little too long than not long enough, right? All right, so let's see. Now you introduce the new audience, so that looks good. Human resource professionals in the tech industry, very good and specific. That's great. All right. Again, you start with past decades, whole life approach to managing workers and taking human resource. There we go. Human resource professionals and managers are experiencing a shift in their relationships. So that's what I was looking for. So you're talking about the audience, you're discussing their audience needs in here. Um, Now here's what I'm looking for in all of your citations should look like this. Uh, unless you use the author's name and paragraph or name and year here, and actually that's what you should have done here. Um, the year 2023 always follows the author. So since you named her here, you should have had that year right here, and then the only thing you would have needed in here, you could have just taken this right here would be the only thing you really needed to have in this paragraph, parenthetical. And that's what I was talking about when I was looking at your part one there before. So when you use the author's name in the signal phrase like you did here, that year should stay with the author's name, and then you only have the page number. So just for your information for future writing, right? Good job with that. Yeah, you did a fantastic job covering everything. The only thing that I'm missing that I was really hoping to see is that you don't really talk about, oh, wait a minute. There it is. I almost missed it. I feel like she does not offer sufficient insight as to how this could be a permanent change. So you did include that. Fantastic. Awesome. Impressive. So far, you're the first person that's actually included that of the ones that I've looked at. So you've done a fine job here. I don't even need to look at the rest of it. I'm sure it's all follows suit. So let me just make sure your reference page looks good, and it does. It looks perfect. So very nicely done. Writing conventions are strong, clear communication. The only thing I have to do is take a little bit off of the citations, just because of because of those minor issues I talked about before. Just because obviously I can't say that it succeeds if it isn't like really great and perfect. So awesome job. Look at that, 99. You can't get any closer to 100 than that. So very awesome job, Bertram. Thank you for your great work this semester, this term, and I wish you the best for your future endeavors. And that will do it for this video.